Wait, did that actually just happen, or am I dreaming? We need to talk about the absolute explosion that just went off in the Forrester Creations office because things are never going to be the same in Los Angeles after this. Honestly, I'm still trying to process the look on Will Spencer's face when he realized his own cousin was stabbing him in the back while smiling at the same time. Was this really just about a messy office fight, or are we literally watching a new corporate villain being born right before our eyes? I have to ask you guys right now, do you think a single punch outside of work hours is actually a good enough reason to ruin someone's entire career? Or is there something way more calculated happening here? It feels like we aren't just looking at a bruised rib anymore, but a total dismantling of the Spencer family's place in the fashion world. You have to stick around for this one because we are going deep into the psychological mind games behind Will's firing and that bone-chilling vow he made to RJ that has me convinced a war is coming. Let's be real for a second and look at the pressure cooker that is Forrester Creations right now. For weeks, the vibes between Will Spencer and RJ Forrester have been absolutely toxic, even if they were trying to play nice for the cameras. But honestly, how long did they think they could keep that up before the dollar bill, jeans, and Will finally reached a boiling point? The whole thing blew up at the Bikini Beach Club, which is supposed to be a place to relax, not a boxing ring. Will finally felt like things were going right because he was back with Elektra. But then there's RJ, just hanging around like a vulture waiting for a mistake. When Will finally snapped and landed that punch, it wasn't just about what was said that night. It was like years of Spencer pride finally hit a wall, in my opinion. Will's reaction was totally coming, and I bet a lot of you agree. When you got someone like RJ constantly whispering in your girlfriend's ear and acting like he's the better man, a love tap, as Will called it, is a pretty predictable outcome. But the really wild part isn't the punch itself, it's how RJ decided to handle it the next morning. He didn't just take the hit like a man, he turned it into a full-on corporate execution. RJ didn't just go to the doctor. He called a meeting with the whole Forrester royalty, Ridge, Steffy, Brooke, and even Carter. He turned a private scuffle into a public trial to get Will kicked out of the building for good. To me, this wasn't about justice or company safety at all. It was about RJ clearing the field so he could have Elektra all to himself. Why did RJ feel like he had to bring the whole Forrester cavalry into this office drama? Well, if you look at it closely, RJ probably knows deep down that he can't win Elektra's heart if the playing field is actually fair. He's using his family name as a shield because he's insecure, and honestly, it's a bit pathetic to watch. By demanding that Will gets fired, he's not just punishing a punch, he's sabotaging a romantic rival using human resources as a weapon. It's a classic move by someone who's scared they aren't enough on their own. Think about how Will must be feeling inside that CEO office right now. He probably feels a mix of total betrayal and a weird sense of, I knew it. Imagine walking into work thinking you're going to celebrate your girlfriend moving in with you, only to see a tribunal waiting to take away your job. His Spencer pride has to be hurting, but I also see a bit of a Spencer survival instinct kicking in. On the other side, RJ is totally playing the victim card and probably loving every second of the power he is over Will. It's like he's relishing the sight of Will's life falling apart. I really see this as a huge shift for RJ, the guy we used to think was the golden boy. This move was absolutely ruthless, and it makes me look at him in a totally different way. He's weaponizing company policy to settle a personal score, and that's just dirty. It reframes the whole Forrester versus Spencer dynamic, because it's not just a rivalry anymore. It's the Forresters acting like they own the moral high ground while they're doing snake-like things behind the scenes. I totally disagree with Ridge's choice to fire Will here. Sure, you shouldn't punch people, but this happened at a beach club on their own time. If everyone in LA got fired for a fight outside of work, there wouldn't be anyone left to design clothes. Ridge is showing his bias so clearly, and it's a weak move that's going to haunt the company. Psychologically, RJ is showing some really dangerous entitlement right now. He thinks that because his last name is Forrester, the world should just bend to make him comfortable. Does this remind anyone else of Thomas? It's like he can't handle being told no, so he just tries to delete the person who said it. Will, meanwhile, is reacting from a place of defensive ego. When a Spencer feels threatened, they don't hide under a desk. They strike back. Now we have to talk about Elektra, because she is caught in a total nightmare that she kind of helped create. She tried to play both sides for way too long. wanting the excitement of a Spencer, but the safety of the Forrester name. Now, the ugly truth is out, and she's realizing the guy she was about to move in with has a violent side that could ruin everything. I bet she's feeling like her whole fairy tale just collapsed into the dirt. One minute she's packing her bags for a romantic beach house move, and the next, she finds out her boyfriend sucker punched her cousin. It's a massive pill to swallow, and she probably feels like a fool for thinking things were perfect. We have to look at Elektra as the real catalyst here. Her being there is what turned these two guys into total animals. In a weird way, she's become a trophy that neither man actually respects enough to be honest with. Will lied to her by not telling her about the fight, and RJ is using the fight to manipulate her family into hating Will. She's basically being used as a pawn in a game of who's the bigger man, and it's honestly sad to watch. I think she should just leave both of them, but this is a soap opera, so we know she's going to stay stuck in the middle for a while. When Will looked RJ in the eye and told him he was going to regret ever messing with me. That wasn't just some playground talk. That was the exact moment Will Spencer fully stepped into his heritage as the son of Dollar Bill. He realized that being a good guy at Forrester got him absolutely nowhere, so he's decided to take the path of vengeance. He's feeling a cold, calculating rage right now. He's done with love taps and beach club fights. He's ready to use the Spencer legacy to burn things down. I see this vow as a huge turning point for the show. It's not just a promise of another punch, it's a promise of a corporate takeover. He's basically saying, you fired me from the company you think you own, so I'm going to go build something that destroys it. I actually love this for Will's character development. He's been in the background for way too long, and seeing him find his dark side is exactly what he needs to become a lead. RJ thinks he won this round, but he actually just created his own worst nightmare. You should never fire Spencer unless you're ready for them to come back and buy the whole building. It's a classic case of narcissistic injury for Will. His success and his relationship were both attacked, so now he has to project that pain right back onto RJ. It's a cycle of revenge where the goal isn't just to get even, but to make sure the other guy suffers more. Things are about to get way worse before they get any better. With Will officially out at Forrester, the office is going to be filled with even more toxic energy. Ridge is trying to act like a stern father, but he's really just pouring gasoline on a fire. And we can't forget about the mothers in this mess. Brooke is stuck defending her son RJ while trying to stay on good terms with her sister Katie. But how long is that going to last once Katie finds out her son was basically set up and thrown out like trash? The battle lines aren't just between the cousins anymore. They're cutting right through the Logan family heart. And what about this new Logan fashion house Katie is building? She's not just making a company. She's building a lifeboat for everyone the Forresters have rejected, with Hope already moving over there, and now a vengeful Will looking for a new job. We're looking at a full-scale defection. I'm predicting that Will isn't just going to join Katie. He's going to be the one who plans the whole expansion. He knows all the Forrester secrets, and he's going to use every single one of them to crush their upcoming lines. I also see a huge clash coming between Steffy and Hope. Steffi's arrogance, saying there's no hope for Logan, is going to be her downfall when she realizes her top designer and her cousin have teamed up to take her down. We might even see Bill Spencer jump into the mix. If he decides to back Katie's new company with his media empire and that HFTF diamond he's been talking about, Forrester Creations might be looking at bankruptcy sooner than they think. We need to talk about RJ's brain for a second because his behavior is getting a little disturbing. His reaction to everything doesn't really match how long he's actually known Elektra. He's acting like Will stole his wife, but they barely even know each other. Why is he so obsessed? It's probably because RJ has always been the perfect child who gets everything he wants. When something doesn't go his way, like Elektra choosing Will, his brain just can't handle it. He thinks he should be the center of everyone's story, and that's a dangerous way to think. RJ probably feels this deep sense of superiority that he didn't even earn. He doesn't think he should have to work for anyone's respect. He thinks it's his birthright because of his last name. Every time he sees Will and Elektra happy, it reminds him that he's not the center of the universe, and that turns into cold resentment. To me, this isn't even a love story for RJ, it's a conquest. He's not in love with the girl, he's in love with the idea of winning. By getting Will fired, he wins the office, and by being the shoulder to cry on for Elektra, he wins the sympathy. It's a performance of being a good guy, but the script is written in pure spite. Honestly, I think RJ is becoming more dangerous than Thomas ever was. Thomas was at least obvious about being messy, but RJ is doing this with a fake smile and a bruised rib while getting everyone else to do the dirty work for him. He's a covert narcissist in the making, and if Ridge keeps enabling him, he's going to burn down the whole family business just to spite Will. In his mind, he is 100% the hero, and Will is 100% the villain. By calling Will a loser or a scumbag, he justifies his own bad behavior. He thinks if the bad guy is gone, everything will be perfect again, but the problem is that the badness is actually coming from RJ himself. Now, let's look at the Spencer side of things. Will being fired is actually the best thing that could have happened for the show because we finally have a real rival for the Forresters. Katie and Bill are both looking for a way to be independent from the Forrester-Logan web, and Will is the final piece of that puzzle. He's got the business brains, the youth, and now the ultimate motivation to see Forrester fail. When you put him together with Hope's talent, you have a powerhouse that isn't just a one-hit wonder. For Katie, this is all about protecting her kid. She's watched the Forresters treat her family like second-class citizens for way too long. Seeing her son get interrogated and fired by Ridge, the same man who has broken Brooke's heart a million times, was the final straw. That tender moment she has with Will isn't just about a hug, it's a recruitment meeting. This is the Logan rebranding we've been waiting for. It's moving from a small project to an empire driven by spite, and let's be honest, spite is a way better motivator than inspiration in the fashion world. The Forresters think they're the only ones who matter, but they just push the three most motivated people in town into a corner together. I am totally on Team Logan Spencer for this one. The Forresters have gotten way too arrogant lately. Steffy's constant talking down to Hope, and Katie is just begging for a reality check. I want to see Will walk into that CEO office in a few months and tell RJ that Logan just bought out all their fabric suppliers. That would be the ultimate chef's kiss moment. Will is moving from being a person who asks for permission to a person who takes charge. At Forrester, he was just an employee looking for a check, but at Logan, he's going to be an architect of a new legacy. Psychologically, this is so healthy for him. He's moving from trying to please Ridge to building his own power. We also can't ignore the drama between the sisters, because this corporate war is going to tear the Logans apart in a way we haven't seen in years. Brooke is loyal to Ridge and her son RJ, but Katie is loyal to Will and her own dreams. When Katie secretly hires Hope, she's basically declaring war on Brooke's husband's company. Brooke is going to feel so betrayed, but Katie will just say she's doing what's best for her son. Brooke is probably terrified because she knows how shaky her peace with Ridge is. If her own sister is the one attacking Forrester Creations, Brooke is the one who has to deal with the fallout at home. Katie, on the other hand, is probably feeling more independent than ever. She's tired of living in Brooke's shadow and wants her own throne for once. I think Brooke is being a little hypocritical here, too. She's questioning who Katie is bringing in to save her company, while she's making seductive offers to Ridge to protect her own interests. Everyone is playing dirty, but Brooke is the only one pretending she's still a saint. Katie being honest about her ambition is so much more refreshing to watch. This is sibling rivalry on a global corporate scale. Katie has finally found a way to win against her sister by building something that could take down Brooke's life's work. Now, I want to hear from you guys because the debate is getting absolutely wild in the comments. First off, do you think RJ was actually right to get Will fired? Or is he just a total coward who's using his family's power to get rid of a guy he's jealous of? Seriously, tell me, is a punch at a beach club enough to lose your job? And whose side are you on in this corporate war? Are you Team Forrester or Team Logan Spencer? I also want to know if you think Elektra should stay with Will after she finds out about his dark side. Or is RJ actually the safer bet for her? You got to drop your hottest takes below because I read every single one of them, and I want to know which side of the fashion world you're standing on. As we look at what's coming next week, keep your eyes on Dylan. She's the total wild card in this mess. While Will is stressing over Elektra and RJ is playing his little games, Dylan is the only one who actually has Will's back. If Will is smart, he'll take her with him to Logan Designs and leave all this Elektra drama behind. But we know Will is a Spencer, and Spencers don't just walk away from a fight. They burn the bridge and then build a skyscraper right next to it. That ominous vow is just the start of something huge. RJ might have won the first round in the boardroom, but Will Spencer is about to start the war of the century. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the messy, beautiful, and absolutely bold world of Los Angeles drama, you have to smash that like button. It really helps the channel out and keeps the drama coming. Make sure you hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss a single spoiler or a psychological breakdown of these characters we love to hate. Until next time, keep it bold, keep it beautiful, and just remember, never bring a punch to a corporate knife fight unless you're ready to take over the whole building. I'll see you in the next video to see what happens when the next bomb drops. And what about this new Logan fashion house Katie is building? She's not just making a company, she's building a lifeboat for everyone the Forresters have rejected. With Hope already moving over there, and now a vengeful Will looking for a new job, we're looking at a full-scale defection. I'm predicting that Will isn't just going to join Katie, he's going to be the one who plans the whole expansion. He knows all the Forrester secrets, and he's going to use every single one of them to crush their upcoming lines. I also see a huge clash coming between Steffy and Hope. Steffi's arrogance, saying there's no hope for Logan, is going to be her downfall when she realizes her top designer and her cousin have teamed up to take her down. We might even see Bill Spencer jump into the mix. If he decides to back Katie's new company with his media empire and that HFTF diamond he's been talking about, Forrester Creations might be looking at bankruptcy sooner than they think. We need to talk about RJ's brain for a second because his behavior is getting a little disturbing. His reaction to everything doesn't really match how long he's actually known Elektra. He's acting like Will stole his wife, but they barely even know each other. Why is he so obsessed? It's probably because RJ has always been the perfect child who gets everything he wants. When something doesn't go his way, like Elektra choosing Will, his brain just can't handle it. He thinks he should be the center of everyone's story, and that's a dangerous way to think. RJ probably feels this deep sense of superiority that he didn't even earn. He doesn't think he should have to work for anyone's respect. He thinks it's his birthright because of his last name. Every time he sees Will and Elektra happy, it reminds him that he's not the center of the universe, and that turns into cold resentment. To me, this isn't even a love story for RJ, it's a conquest. He's not in love with a girl, he's in love with the idea of winning. By getting Will fired, he wins the office, and by being the shoulder to cry on for Elektra, he wins the sympathy. It's a performance of being a good guy, but the script is written in pure spite. Honestly, I think RJ is becoming more dangerous than Thomas ever was. Thomas was at least obvious about being messy, but RJ is doing this with a fake smile and a bruised rib while getting everyone else to do the dirty work for him. He's a covert narcissist in the making, and if Ridge keeps enabling him, he's going to burn down the whole family business just to spite Will. In his mind, he is 100% the hero, and Will is 100% the villain. By calling Will a loser or a scumbag, he justifies his own bad behavior. He thinks if the bad guy is gone, everything will be perfect again, but the problem is that the badness is actually coming from RJ himself. Now let's look at the Spencer side of things.